Ish. Good day, good day. Today's topic is about astronomy. We are going to learn more about astronomy. As you know, astronomy is a very broad concept, so we are going to break it down in this tutorial. It's natural science, grade 8, so please listen attentively, listen very carefully because we are going to address everything, we are going to interpret everything about astronomy. So if you are very clever, you can take a pen and a paper to write down everything I'm going to address in this video. So, okay, here is where we are going to start. We are going to start by describing, by giving definition of astronomy. What exactly is astronomy? We are giving this definition so that when you get deeper to the concept, you'll understand more about astronomy and you know the definition and everything associated with astronomy. So by definition, astronomy is the study of all celestial objects or everything in the universe beyond Earth's surface, atmosphere such as the sun, the moon, and the stars in constellation, as well as the galaxies. These are all objects that we are going to study. But in this topic, we are going to focus more on solar system. We're going to focus more on the solar system, interpret everything, interpret the sun. We're going to interpret everything, the planets, the eight planets, which is specifically what we are going to do in this lesson. Okay. So before we get deeper to the concept, before we explain everything about the solar system, let us first describe what exactly is the solar system. So when we describe the solar system, we define it as the relationship between what we call the sun, the moon, and the earth. We know the earth is where we live in. The moon is our satellite, we know it as our satellite, and the sun is what gives us the energy. So we are looking at the relationship between all those three concepts I've mentioned, between the sun, the moon, and the earth. So before we describe everything, we know the definition now. Let us get closer, deeper and deeper to the concept of the solar system and look at every opponent of it. Okay. So this is our solar system. This is exactly how our eight planets looks like in the solar system. So as you can notice, this is the sun with the sun here at the center. We have the Mercury. Here is the Venus. Here is the Mars. Here is the Earth, Jupiter, with the Uranus, with the Saturn, as well as the Neptune. So they are all, as you can notice, they are all rotating around the sun. They are all revolving around the sun. So we can ask a question: what is the reason? Why do they all rotate around the sun? It is because the sun's gravity keeps all these planets, eight planets around it. It is because of the sun's gravity. Okay, so we have the Mercury, the Venus, the Earth, the Mars, the Jupiter, the Saturn, the Uranus, the Neptune. It would be very good if you can know how do they, if you can know the order of these eight planets. So I can give you a tip on how you can actually know how the order is. So so you can just simply recall this song. The song goes like this. You can all sing along. The song says, "My very anger mom just saved us noodles." Let us repeat. My very anger mom just saved us noodles. So this song is going to help you to remember the order of these eight planets. But how? Let us take a closer look. So we just said, my very anger mom just saved us noodles. So let's take a closer look. The Mi stand for Mercury, the Very stand for Venus, the Anger stand for Earth, Mam stand for Mars, Jupiter, Just save Just stand for Jupiter, Saved stand for Saturn, As stand for Uranus, and the Neptune, and Nautilus stand for the Neptune. It is very easy. So why I'm telling you this? Why I'm telling you that you must know the order, because we have the inner planets and the outer planets. The inner planets, they rotate very fast than the outer planets. So we have the Mercury here, the Venus, the Sun. Oh, the Sun is not a planet. We have the Mercury, Earth, and Venus. So these are the inner planets. So they rotate very fast because they are closer. They are very closer to the Sun. And those that are far from the Sun, they rotate they're very slow than those on the inside. So you must be able to know the order so that you know which planets rotate fast. So the other important thing you must know everything about the Jupiter, everything about the Uranus, everything about the Mercury, everything about the Venus, the Mars, the Saturn, and the Neptune. So I will give you everything about it. I'll give you notes. I'll provide with notes so that you can know more about these 8 planets. But however, there are other planets that we didn't mention in this slide. There are other planets that we didn't mention in the slides, but I want us to focus on these 8 planets because they are very important. They are very important in our solar system. So, okay, now we are done about our 8 planets. So let's move to the next slide. Yeah, let us move to the next slide. So here we are differentiating between the galaxies and the stars in constellation. We are doing this because many people make mistakes and they cannot differentiate between the constellations and the galaxies. So only because the galaxies are also stars and the constellations are also stars. So let's differentiate between the two. So the galaxies are the collection of billions of stars, which means there are millions of stars, there are millions and billions of stars, there are many stars. When we are talking about galaxies, we are talking about billions of stars. The constellation are the collection of only a few stars, which means there are less stars, and they can arrange themselves in a pattern that resembles maybe something, a human or something, but there are only few stars. But the galaxies are the billions of stars. So, okay, let us also look at the moon, the earth, and the sun. Let us also look at the relationship. So, the earth, it takes 24 hours for earth to rotate around the sun. This tells us that that the sun is very bigger than the earth because it takes almost a day for the earth to rotate around the sun. Okay, the moon, it takes 25 days for the moon to rotate around the earth. Okay, so now we have to look at the different type of tides that are caused by the moon. Let us now look at the different type of tides with the neap tide and also the spring tides. Exactly is tide? Let us describe the tides. The tides are very long waves that move across the ocean. They are caused by the gravitational forces exerted on the earth by the moon and as well as the sun. Okay, so let us describe what exactly is the spring tides first. The spring tides, they are popularly known as the king's tide. They are also known as the king tides. They always happen when the moon is at the new of full phase. New or full phase only, which is when the sun, the moon, and the earth are in alignment. What do we mean when they are in alignment? We mean that the moon, the sun, and the earth are in a straight line. We call that spring tides. They are also known as the king's tides. They happen only when there is a full or a new moon. Okay, let us move into the other one. The other one we have the nip tide. The nip tide happens only 7 days after a spring tide. 7 days after a spring tide. It refers to a period of moderate tide when the sun and the moon are at right angles to each other. You can now notice the difference between the spring tides as well as the nip tides. The nip tides, we say they happen 7 days after a spring tide. We said the spring tide, they are known as the king's tide. They happens when the sun, moon, and the earth are in alignment, are in a straight line, whereas the nip tides happens only when the sun and the moon are at right angles to each other. So yeah, this we must know the differences between the nip tides and the spring tides. These tides they are caused by what? They are caused by the moon and the sun gravitation. So yeah, this is the end of our YouTube tutorial. We've covered the topic of astronomy, where we mainly focused on the solar system, which we said is the relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth. We have covered all the 8 planets. We have named all the 8 planets and how they revolve around the sun. We have looked at the sun. We have also looked at the moon. We have also described the galaxies, which you said are billions of stars, and constellations, which you said they are just small stars, which makes up a pattern. We have also described the differences between the nip tides and the spring tides and how they are caused, what is the reason for them to happen. Yeah, this is the end. Listen to this YouTube tutorial very carefully. Write some notes, write everything down. Thank you.